Hello and welcome to episode 14 of Build a Nation with Vukovar in Croatia. We've lost our best two players, we're still going well in the league. There's been a lot of transfer activity on deadline day, so let me catch you up on where we are and see if the future still looks quite as bright. Okay, I'm going to start with the schedule because it kind of leads into the other parts regarding transfers, etc. But when you last seen us, we lost to Hajduk 2-1. Simic with the consolation goal. I'll just quickly rattle through all these because it's been a fantastic run really. We've been doing really well in the league, so it's good to highlight where we've been doing well. So the teams that we should expect to beat, like Rude, we've been beating Guican and Mohar with the goals, two of our highly promising players. Easy game in the Croatian Cup first round against Belice. Osijek we beat 4-1, Stoljkovic, Zebic, Bukvic with the goals. Fiorentina beat us in the Europa League group stage, not unsurprising. Rijeka we beat 4-0, which was a huge result. I think at that stage we were flying quite high up near the top of the table. Lukanic with the penalty, Guican with the goal, Stoljkovic as well, which we'll talk about later. Rude we beat 5-3 in the second round of the Cup. Varazdin, I mean, it's a surprise result really. It's a team I would expect us to beat, but slipped to a 2-1 defeat. Early red card for Lukanic, kind of upset us in that game. Olympiacos, again we dropped more points in the Europa League group phase, which was disappointing. Istra we beat 3-1, Stoljkovic and Guican with the goals. Same two players scored again as we fell to a 3-2 defeat against Dynamo. Basel, hat-trick from Guican and Pato with some goals. We beat them 4-3 to get some much needed points and push us into them kind of playoff qualifiers. Gorica we beat 4-1, Apostolov getting a goal, a rare goal for him. Mohar getting another two, he's having a really good season this year. Stoljkovic with a penalty. A 4-0 win in the Croatian Cup quarter-final against Mladost Zdralovdi, which, excuse me if I pronounced that terribly, but a really good result there. Again, Guican with a couple of goals, Mohar. Guican scored again in a 1-0 win against Belupo. Takac and Kivanovic against Leisure to get a 2-1 win, which secured us a playoff position, which you can see the last of the games down there, which we'll get to. Hajduk we lost 2-1, late consolation from Guican, but that put them in a better position in the league. They've really recovered well. They had some games in hand and I think they've pushed up towards the top of the league now, which we'll check in a minute. The usual friendlies around about the January period, 3 of them were victories, a loss against Rapid, but I'm not really too concerned about them games. Feyenoord, we got beat 2-0, we got a 0-0 draw with Braga, which was enough to put us into the playoffs. We're still in the competition. A 2-2 draw at home against Borussia Mönchengladbach. We'll play the second leg soon. A 4-0 win against Rudes put us up the table again in the league positions. Osijek we beat 2-1. Rijeka, I mean, this is a game, they went down to 10 men early and they, for some reason, and I don't know what it was, we had a really strong side out, but they just beat us. Mergin Puzi with a consolation goal, we'll get to him in a minute, which in terms of the league position puts us in third. We've got a game in hand on top spot. We're 8 points behind Hajduk. They're on a tremendous run in recent weeks. I think just relentless really recently, really putting in some good performances, and I think we do play them again, so we're going to have to make some ground up on them if we want to put a real push for a top space in the league. Unfortunately, transfer-wise, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. We had a tremendous transfer window, just bringing in 1 or 2 players. It looked like we really strengthened, got some high-quality, high-potential players, with more to come as we approach January. They did come, so as we went through the January transfer window, we did pick up Zdenek Zvobodba. He came in, we'd already pre-arranged that transfer. High-potential left-winger, really pacey, lots to give, Czech player. I mean, he's going to integrate into the squad fairly quickly. Would have been understudy to Stoljkovic, but we'll get to that in a minute. We'll go to players out really first. We got Guican, and this is the disappointing one. Razak Guican got taken for a minimum release clause of 2.3 million. You can see there, and this is really hard to take. He's now worth 15.5 to 24 million. I did everything I could to try and get him to sign a new contract and remove the release clause in there. He wouldn't have it. I'm still limited with the players I signed. They still want minimum release clauses, and it's something that I think reluctantly I accept. As we transition to the period where we want to challenge at the top of the table, we've got to accept the fact that players are only going to come to us as a stepping stone to go somewhere else. So as much as we would have keep him long term, and he was our top goal scorer, he had a hugely high average rating, he's moved on. We have to get past it, and we have to get some other players in. alongside that, I mean, we pushed on for a little bit. Marlon Kalisic, we let him go. Again, he's gone out. He's on loan. I think we've got a transfer fee, might go for at the end of it. But he wasn't getting the game time, so we let him go. And then just on near transfer deadline day, Hajduk came in with a totaling 3.8 billion for Lukas Stoljkovic, which he said he was going to be unsettled if we didn't accept it. They were going to come back in, so I pushed the price up as high as I could. They've got it to about 3.8 million, and we let him go. So really disappointing to lose some really high average rating players that we've had in the squad. Some really good goal contributions, but we have been busy in the transfer market trying to strengthen our position. So after Svoboda came in, we brought in a couple of new strikers. So Mergin Boozy we brought in an immediate reaction to Guikan going. He's already played 3 games in the Europa League, not got a goal yet. But in the first league, he's got 3 goals and 2 assists in 4 starts and a few substitute appearances. So Mergin Boozy looking like he might be a really good replacement for him. 21-year-old, 3.5 star, gusting up to 4.5 star potential. Real good player on our hands. I don't think 600,000. So he's got a release clause in there. He might well move on, but I think as an interim striker, he's really good. We then went, because I was a bit cheesed off about Guikan going, I went to his former club, Isaac Mimosas, and had a look at what players they kind of had there, and I found Laurent Aki and immediately made a bid for him. There were some other clubs in the division went for him, but with his technique 16 and a good spread stat like that, 19-year-olds, 3-star potential, 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. I've brought him in, and he might well play a few games for us really, really shortly. So again, 2 really good high potential strikers in there. And then with Stoljkovic going on the left hand side, I immediately raided Hajduk for one of their players, so they've got him for 3.8 million. I've taken Andanini Maganic from them, 3.5 star current ability, up to 5-star potential. He looks like a really good high promising player. He'll go straight into the starting lineup on the left hand side. He's only 18 years old, so compared to Stoljkovic, he's got a huge number of years at the club. And the future's looking bright. A bit of a shuffle round, but I think the players we brought in are maybe not quite as equal to, but I think they've got the potential to surpass the players that have been replaced, which is what the save's all about. It's also balanced the books somewhat, as we've got a little bit of profit out at the end of it. And we've also got one final transfer to talk of, which is Edin Tolja, which is another striker we've pre-arranged a contract with. Bosnian, again, really high potential player, terrific signing. I can't remember what we've got him in for. In fact, it's not on there. It'll be on here. Soldier, free transfer. So again, even if we don't do too much with him, that's 3 really high potential strikers we've got in there. Tactics-wise, what that means is on that left wing, we'll bring in Maganic. So he'll be on the left-hand side. Bukvic will continue on the right-hand side even when he comes back from injury. Mohar's still there. Boozy's starting to get some goals, although we might bring some of the other players in that position. Aki will get a goal. Takac is still in the club. He's doing quite well as a young player. And then we've let a load of other players go out on loan. So still looking really good. Still with a chance in the first league. I think we're still in the cup as well. Cup semi-final. Hasn't been drawn yet. Still in the Europa League. So in terms of the season as a whole, we've got a lot to play for. It's still a very promising season. I know there's a little bit of distance at the top of the league with Hajduk being in such good form, but if we can pull them 3 points back with our game in hand and start trying to eat up the gap between, I think they're still in Europe as well. In fact, no, they've been knocked out. So they've been knocked out by Borussia Dortmund in the group stage. They don't have that to play for. However, we might pull them in the cup semi-final, so we might get a bit of a revenge grudge match. But I will carry on playing through the season, despite this transfer turmoil we've had around deadline day, and see if we can get to the end of the season with at least trying to get our hands on a trophy via a cup final, league position. I think it's a push to try and think we win the Europa League, because I think the teams that are still in there are quite big compared to where we are. Don't get me wrong, I think we're getting better and better every season, but Sporting's one to look out for. Dynamo are still in there, who can always give us a game. Lons, who we've had difficulties with before. Outside of that, I think we've got a good chance against most teams, maybe FCSB, but we'll see how we go. I will carry on playing games. I'll be back at the end of the season for the end of season review to tell you where we finished, make your predictions, on whether you think it's going to be a great season, a poor season, a terrible season. Think who your player of the season is going to be, etc. And we'll see who we get it when we get towards the end of the video, and you can see if you were correct or not. So stick around, I'll be back in not too long. And welcome back. We're at the end of the season, but before we get into the end of season review, we have one more game to play, and that is the cup final against HNK. So we made it to Croatian cup final. We beat Dynamo in the semi-finals. HNK beat Hajduk, so we've got a fair chance of this. We're 1-0 up from the first leg as well to make it even better. However, we are struggling for defenders because we've got some suspensions to our two Croatian centre-halves. So this might be a bit of a rough ride. We'll see. We've got Lukovniak coming in. He's not played particularly many games. He is a young player with a bit of development potential. Might not stay with us too long because we might replace him with somebody better. But there we go. So we've survived the loss of Guican. Boozy's doing well, Aki's doing well. We'll go through all that at the end of the season review. New players are bedding in well, and it's a chance to win a trophy. So the starting lineup we got today, we've got Kovacevic in goals. He plays just about every game. We've got Kvijanovic, Patel, Lukavnik and Nicholas across the back four. Lukanic and Stankovic in the middle of the park. Mohart, Bukvic, Svoboda and Boozy leading the line with some really strong players on the bench. Ahmed Apostolov, Bulgarian, doing really well. Aki, who's already got 9 goals, Rukovina, Takak, Maganjic, he's had a few injury problems since he came, but lots of players on the bench to maybe recover if it doesn't go as well as expected at the start. But let's get into the game and see if we can get our grubby little mitts on a trophy. It's been quite a rough ride, really. We've won probably all the games we've expected to win. We got beat by Hajduk and Rukava, I can never remember their name. So from our strong start to the season where we were near the top of the table, we have dropped as low as 3rd at times. No spoilers, I'll take you through the end of the season review after this game, and you can see how we got on once the really topsy-turvy transfer window took place, losing Guican and Stojkovic on the left-hand side, but bringing in what I think is some actually better players long-term potential-wise, and maybe with their technique as well are slightly better than the players that have gone. And the fundings that's gone through them changes has also enabled us to sign some other young players coming through, develop the squad and put us in a really good position moving forward, especially if we can keep getting into Europe, keep generating that money. And I'll take you through how far we got in the Europa League as well, because that was a really exciting cup run we got through, getting knocked out eventually by a much stronger side. But yeah, it was really good. Got through some games that I didn't think we would, but there we go. 20 minutes into the game, quite steady. They've not had a shot on target yet. We've had 2. I'm hoping we can just nullify them for the majority of the game, because we've got that 1 goal advantage from the first leg. But yeah, really quiet, and I'm all for that. I mean, we're missing a few of our really good creative players. Apostolov, the Bulgarian, he's been tremendous, and he sat in a flat midfield position to start with. We have used him in place of Mohar in that advanced midfield position, and that might be where he sits long term. Because I think he's a really creative player. He's developed really quickly. Some of the other players haven't developed quite as fast in that central midfield position. Spoiler alert, we have got another midfielder we're signing on an end of contract agreement, so hopefully he'll be able to strengthen us in there as well. As we lose a goal and it's level on aggregate. HNK getting back into the game. Racier with a goal on the right hand side. Free kick. I mean, he took the free kick and then he ran blind in there. No one's marked him at all. It's a bit frustrating. But can we get back into the game? Shout a little bit of encouragement. And I think the only weak position at the minute is Lukavniak. If we can keep the ball in the front areas of the field, we should be fairly comfortable in this. Bukvic not having the greatest of games at the minute as we rotate the ball through the back four and look to create a chance of ourselves. So Kvijanovic, Patel just playing on the left hand side, not really getting out as such. Maybe there's not enough movement in front of them as we've given the ball away. Matkovic has a chance. Blimey, we don't want to give away too many of them. Throwing down the right hand side this time just before half time. Stankovic in, it goes to Svoboda. He's restored the 1 goal advantage over the 2 legs by getting the equaliser. And again, the young winger on the left hand side maybe wouldn't have normally been in the team today if our other young left winger had come in, but getting a header, adding to his goal tally, and his development potential is really high as well. So again, another bit of future brightness in the Vukovar squad. So half time, happy with how we dominated the possession. Let's keep going. If we can keep the ball, limit the number of chances, and see it out as a 2-1 victory. Then we get our hands on the trophy, and whatever comes along with it. I'm not sure what prize money is available for the cup competitions. There doesn't seem to be a great deal in terms of the league. You seem to make a lot more financial gains from the European competitions than from domestic. But in terms of club stature and growing the club and attracting players to us, it's massive, because if we can start getting our hands on trophies, Boozy not having the greatest of games up front, we might just take him off and put Aki on for a run out. Get him out there to have a bit of a run around in the cup final. Boozy, he scored 4 goals a couple of times now. He's a phenomenal little player. A bit inconsistent, so he can have some really quiet games, but he's fairly notched up the goals. Aki as well, actually, considering he came in late in the transfer window. He's notched up a number of goals as well. So the goals have spread across the front four a lot better. We've got a lot of players on double figures, probably due to the number of competitions we've been in and how long we went in the Europa League. But these extra games have enabled us to get more players on double figures. So in terms of a goal scoring potential, we're looking a bit more prolific than we have been in recent years. Guican going a massive blow to us, the only wonder kid I think we've had so far. Although, if I remember right, I think we did have another player in the next gen list that might be able to be a future potential player, and it might have actually been Svoboda. I'd have to go back and check. I can't. Mohar from Magancic. In fact, if we're going to take Mohar off, I think Apostolov. I know we don't have any midfielders, so undo that. I'm just going to leave it as it is. I don't really want to put a winger in the advanced midfield role if I can help it. Bukvic can stay on as well. It's only a yellow card, and don't need to break out Rukavini yet. Maybe if we get to extra time, we'll make a couple more changes. But we've got 10 minutes to go. 2-1 up. It's within touching distance now to get our hands on the Croatian Cup. And I mean, it's been a fairly solid, if not unremarkable, performance. I think we've just done the job we needed to, really. Bukvic tired now. Rukavina can come on. Stankovic with a corner. Patel, again, he's got a few headers from corners this year at some important moments. 4 minutes of injury time. Just see the game out. Nothing stupid. Don't give the ball away. Ball forward to Aker. That's enabling them to have a chance. Well, one back. Svoboda down the left hand side. Nothing silly now. Kovacevic, Lukavnic, Stankovic. Hopefully this is going to create a chance for us. Not there. Mohar tried to play it through. Was it a foul? It was. It's going to be a red card. So even if they get back in the game, we're going to have a 1-man advantage, because it'll be down to 10 men. But Apostolov, the substitutes, come on. A lovely little well-worked free kick. And he's come on and got what the goal that puts it to bed. Mohar with a lovely little interchange with Rukavina. Apostolov running from the right-hand side. Buried. Hands are on the trophy. We're picking up, what is a momentous occasion for the club, really. Picking up the Croatian Cup. And time's about to go. Here we go. Oh, there's always put one last little highlight on there. There we go. All over. Vukovar won the Croatian Cup. We won't go through too much of this. We all know what happens. We've seen it 100 times on Football Manager, so we'll just let them shake hands and then we'll get into the post-match results. So yeah, fantastic. Won in the first leg, finished the job off, and it's amazing that we've managed to get our hands on the cup. So I'll get to the end of season review. We'll take through the transfers. We'll show you how we got on in the league and all the other competitions, and we'll end the episode hopefully on a bright note, looking at the future of what next season holds. And here we go for the end of season review. And as you can see on the screen, it is the double. Before the cup final, we'd actually secured the league title, secured on the last day of the season from second place we were at the start of the day, and it looked like we had no chance. However, Hajduk messed up. We didn't even fulfill our part. I don't think we even won the game. I think we eked out a draw and managed to scrape away 1 point ahead of them at the end of the season. So historic double for Vukovar. In terms of transfers then, Laurent Aki, he came in as a young potential striker because he's let Guican go. 9 appearances, 9 goals, 1 assist. So I think you can agree he has been nothing short of a phenomenon since coming in. If we'd had him for the whole season, maybe he's actually better than Guican. I'm not sure. Got him from the same club. Just dipped my head in there because I was frustrated at Guican going, but yeah, absolutely phenomenal signing. Star signings, Denek Zvoboda, who got the equaliser in the cup final. 17 games, 6 goals, 3 assists, 7.13 average. Again, 21-year-old Czech. Stats not remarkable, but they're certainly in the right areas where he needs them. He's pacey, he can dribble, he's got a little bit of good technique on him. So again, he's got a little bit more growth to go into. Ahmed Apostoslov, we brought him in for 775,000 because his minimum release clause was expired. Took a bit of a gamble on him. I'd seen him a few times through the scouting network, and I thought he looked like a really good player. We've brought him in. He's averaged 7.06. He's played quite a number of games for us. He's got some goals. He got the last goal in the cup final as well. I've just managed to offer him a contract which removes his minimum release fee. So that's what I'm currently working on doing, is removing some of the minimum release fees after getting bitten by the Guican sale. But yeah, 34 appearances, 4 goals, 7 assists, fantastic. Lucas Mateus brought in as a substitute goalkeeper. Again, young Brazilian, had a bit of potential on him. He's kind of faded off a little bit. We've not been able to give him the game time, but he's fulfilled that role of deputising when he's needed to. C+ for him. Filip Takac, high potential striker from Sparta Prague, 56,000. Again, really good player. Probably going to be one of the players that we put into our kind of loan network, loan him throughout the division to try and help bolster some of the lower league, the lower teams in the division, to boost reputations and help them in Europe, etc. Jaroslav Novak, 19-year-old midfielder, he kind of fits that mold as well. 18 games, 1 goal, 3 assists. Again, brought him in 52,000. Really good spread of stats, only 19, so he's got some room to grow as well. Mergin Bouzi, 19 games, 8 goals, 2 assists, 600,000 from Varazdin. He was the initial purchase we made when Guican went, before we brought Aki in. But again, that's 3 really high potential strikers we've got in there now. So in terms of producing ourselves a little loaning network as part of the Build a Nation Challenge, it's starting to take shape a bit more as we get more and more money in, as we get stronger positions, a better reputation. The magic is starting to come together. Antonini Maganjic, 3.4 million from Hajduk. They bought Stojkovic from us for about 3.5 or to 3.8 million. So we rated them for their young prospect, put him back the other way. And he's got the potential to be a much better player anyway. So he's come in, B for him. Got injured a couple of times after he came in, but five appearances, no goals yet, 2 assists on that left-hand side. He's going to be quite good long-term in the future. Dominik Perpic, brought him from Hajduk, 19 appearances, 1 goal, quite solid at centre-half, one of the really good defenders we've got in there. And basically him and Patel kind of rotated a lot at that back position, and I think he's been a really good, strong centre-half. He's Croatian, and we'll keep him for a long time. And then Nikola Simic, brought him in as an understudy at left back to Kvitanovic. Due to injuries and stuff, he's actually played 15 games, got a goal in there as well. So again, the signings in, I think, have been tremendous. We started at the start of the season in the initial window with just like 3 or 4 signings, but some of these players got brought in at the really extended deadline day transfer when all them shenanigans went on with Guican and Stojkovic. But there you go. Transfers out. Guican, 20-year-old wonder kid. Altai for 2.3 million. Dare I look on how much he's worth now? More than 16 to 26 million, which is frustrating. He's got 16 goals in 25 games for us. Juresko, we let go on a free transfer. Didn't really need him. Anisa, just got a little fee for him because he was overtaken by a number of midfielders brought into the squad. Same with Spahic. And it was a case of moving on the players that had high potential when we signed them initially, but they've been overtaken by new players coming through. Kvetko, just because he's an absolute whinge bag of a player, we let him go. He's just really frustrating because he had some good potential, but he was constantly whinging. Stojkovic, we spoke, 3.8 million off to Hajduk. We had to go because we got a good transfer fee, and actually enabled us to rotate players around, and that's paid off in the end because we've got the double. Ormovic again came in really high potential, let him go on a free transfer, but he just flat to deceive really. And Fejuk, young Croatian goalkeeper, we just moved him on, mostly to do with foreign player quotas. Loans out, quite a lot gone out there. I won't really go through all of them. The only ones that we're really looking to bring back into the fold, I suppose, is Polavinek, Again, he just wasn't getting the game time because of the attacking midfielder options we had. But he's only 20 years old. He's got some potential, and we'll bring him back in and reintroduce him as we go into next season. In terms of the results then, in the league, 1 point clear of Hajduk. It was on the very last game of the season. We got a 1-1 draw with Slaven Belupo, who were bottom of the league. We were winning, and it was looking quite comfortable. But they got an equaliser, and we weren't able to get another goal. So I was really worried that if Hajduk on the last day of the season, if they'd got any goal whatsoever, they'd have finished above us. Superior goal difference and the results against us as well. So our top goal scorers was Mohar and Aki on 9 goals. But throughout the season, I think we won most of the games we wanted to win. Rijeka, again, one of the top teams. Zagreb, Hajduk. Varazdin's a bit of a wobble. But outside of them, Istra. That's it. So Istra and Varazdin. So again, 2 teams floating around there. We had quite a good season. 23 wins, 4 draws, 9 losses, and that's the bit we need to kind of fix is them 9 losses. But we've done it. We've got our hands on the trophy. We just need to build on that and see if we can retain it next season. Champions League wise, did all right. Got past Celtic. Galatasaray knocked us out in the playoffs. I thought that was the end of our European journey, but I didn't realise that once we get knocked out at that stage, you drop into the Europa League. Europa League, much better. Maccabi Haifa, Basel, Warsaw. We've beaten in the league stages. We've got a draw against Braga and Almira. We've got beat by Fiorentina, Olympiacos, and Feyenoord, which isn't too bad. Mönchengladbach, we beat them in the next round. Beat Hoffenheim, which was probably one of the surprises. A 2-1, a 1-1, and then Newcastle came to town and absolutely demolished us. I mean, they had Isaac and Anthony Gordon, and they had a tremendous squad, and it was just one-way traffic. I was actually quite happy it was only 1-0 in the second leg because of how bad they battered us in the first one. But we've got another exciting time to go into the Champions League again next year. Croatian Cup, again, Bilisice, comfortable. Rudes, a bit less comfortable, but we outscored them. Vlados Zdrolovi, 4-0. Zagreb, we crept past 1-0, which was the semi-final. It was probably the hardest game we went through. And then over the 2 legs against Osijek, a 1-0 win and a 2-1 win put us through. So moments to remember. Biggest win, 4-0 against Rijeka. Lukanic with a penalty, 2 penalties, Wikan and Stojkovic. Match to remember against Osijek, 4-1 away. Bukovic, Stojkovic and Zebic. And then goal of the season was scored against Rudes by Mohar with a screamer from 22 metres. In terms of the finances, all of that looks really positive. Competition prize money, 8.46 million as opposed to none last year, which is the year we weren't in Europe. So we're going to try and take all this money and reinvest it in the facilities, as well as bringing in some good young players. In terms of the shirt sales, Bukovic, Mohar, Lukanic, Aiki and Boozy, so the 2 new strikers in there getting some shirt sales. How we lined up, we can still in there. I'm trying not to let it annoy me because it was a stepping stone for him. But Kovacevic, we've got Zebic and Patel, Nicholas Kvjanovic, Apostolov, Lukanic, Mohar, Bukovic, Stojkovic and Wikan. Aker's probably going to take his place up top. I'm toying with the idea of going 2 up front, but we'll see. Manager of the award, so manager of the month of July, October, March, manager of the year and May, so really good from the manager's perspective that time. Club awards, Bukovic, Patel, Mohar. Mohar was the top goal scorer of 15, which takes us back to the days when we had Tolic really, and he was the best player in that kind of just behind the front man position. Bukovic most assists and most man of the matches, highest average rating, and Patel, it's always a defender gets that one at the bottom. Most goals in a match, 4 by Boozy. I think he did it twice, so most in a league match Boozy. Worst discipline, Zebic, 11 yellow cards, but no reds. That's a positive. We'll take that as a positive. He had no reds. Most league appearances is 170 by Kovacevic. He's been with us a long time now, and we're hoping to keep him longer. Highest transfer fee paid, 3.4 million for Antonini Maganjic, and I think was he the... I don't know if he was the player who was a wonder kid. No, he's not. I think he was in the next gen list, but we'll see. Highest transfer received, 3.29 million. That rises to 3.8. And the fastest goal, Subaric, 18 seconds in one of the cup games. In terms of the manager timeline then, so when's the last little update? Oh, there you go. So it's been a big year really. 3 new contract, Mohal new contract, Antonini Magics for a big deal, win over Hoffenheim, next gen, there you go, Anthony Magancic, he was in the next gen list. Guican grabbed 10 goals to help us get our first name on a trophy. Again, he wasn't here when we grabbed it at the end, but he did certainly contribute. Manager of the Year, Croatian Cup triumph, and that's Croatian Cup. So really good season, probably the best season we've had at the club. We need to really build on this now. We need to start improving the facilities. We need to get a whole load of players in that we can loan to the teams in and around us, so we can start bringing them up within the European competitions as well. The final thing really to check on is the coefficients, which we haven't checked on for a little while. So in terms of the Nations Club coefficients, we were down in 11th. We're up to 56.575, so we will go up 1. So we get into the top 10, we go past Greece. And now we need to make some inroads on Turkey and Portugal. So that's our next little target. I mean, it's a long way to the top. I think if we get in the top 3, I'll be happy. But we're making progress, slow but sure. Let's see how the next transfer windows. Hopefully you've enjoyed that in terms of an update. I won't go through too much in terms of the squad, because we'll do that for the next episode when we do the transfer window. Lots of players wanted, lots of players we might need to move around. Certainly need to get a lot more players in the high potential threshold, and also keep a hold of these players who are at the top end in terms of current ability. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Everton have some points on the board in the Premier League as well, and one in the Carabao Cup. So football in general is looking quite positive. So until next time, enjoy yourselves, enjoy the football, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you soon.